Hello Blender folks, welcome and welcome back. I'm Gnomes and we are continuing our live stream. Yesterday unfortunately I had some trouble, so sorry wasn't able to live stream, but we are back today and here we are going to continue with body rigging for this OC character of mine. Dorothy, hold on, yes, sound cannot be too loud, and alright, so the thing that I'm going to do today, or this session, is improve the, not change the mesh topology probably, because it is already good enough, I think. I'm just making the mesh geometry a bit better for the knees and for the hands. Here currently I'm struggling with the knees. There's two face loops here, so one that comes from below and one that comes from above, and so there's some spike here showing in the knees region, and I'm still trying to figure out how to. Probably I did better. Yeah, not a question of subdivisions. It's more how I. Hold on. It's how. Now let's play back this again. Maybe we don't need all that. It's just soundtrack. Alright, sorry, it was lagging my transmission. Okay, so here it was already working fine. Probably I want to make it smoother, and also for the deforms there on the joint, they are sort of working, but this is not regular rig. This is some, there's no shape key, corrective shape keys here, but on the simple joint, but there is a corrective armature deform method, so that used for simple joints here. So it's a spline skinning with a bendy bone spline. Basically this is just a bendy bone spline here in the joint that is parented to the start handle. Well, it could be the inverse, but the start handle with this one is parented to this, to the thigh bone, just like this, and it's aligned exactly in the, let's see, screencast, okay, here. So it's aligned with that, and this is the line with the thigh deform bone, so they are pointing, yeah, in this direction. And so and then the bendy bone spline just like that, and so because of parenting offset, it will just follow the leg, this contraption here. And so the idea is that this spline skinning corrective armature deform solution will smooth out the deforms, sort of avoiding the worst of the artifacts there. Although in this case I'm using preserve volume. Let's see what it would be without it. Yeah, not too much difference, but yeah, you see that there's perhaps more volume loss, but yeah, no big deal, no big difference in this case, because this however, if we turn off this setup, a good thing to test actually, let's see Yeah, you see, it's not really doing a fantastic job there. It's nearly, I thought it was better, but yeah, so it's not really that relevant for this case actually, and I don't have anything else that I remember except wave painting here. So we have here, yeah, I could improve the wave painting, maybe even, yeah, maybe it's too, let's try to make some improvements here. So let's perhaps create some protection here. Yeah, let's bring this as a protection. So just trying to fix this geometry and wave painting all together. So for all the deformed bones that are involved in here, which is just three, basically is the thigh, is the shin, and is the corrective helper bone there. So we're gonna try that. Slight improvements here, as you see. This can actually be good, this corrective method there, but for this rig particularly, it's not, at this point, it's just not being so helpful. It's like, it's nearly irrelevant. But in principle, it should help. It might help a little for the joint, the complex joint, like shoulders, it's easier, I think, to help, and for the thigh, hips, thigh, pelvis, right, its joint is more complicated. Yeah, the complex joints, shoulders and pelvis are very, very complex. So it's not like this will solve anything there. It will slightly help, maybe. I don't even have it there. I have another system there, and I'm using corrective shape keys here. Here it could help. It could be used corrective shape keys too, to improve to have easier setup. But I think I can, for this character design, I think I can solve this with just this simpler thing. So probably I think I need to make this waves a little more interesting. Yeah, so here I'm lacking some basic practice here. In a long time I don't because I've been experimenting so much with mesh geometry and mesh topology and other corrective armature corrective methods that I don't even remember what would be a good wave painting for this, right? The regular way, right? Because usually the regular way don't work for joints. It's just we have artifacts that are too strong. The more we get rotations, right? And in this case, yeah, what is not very satisfying is that the mesh here for the, yeah, it looks like really some volume loss there. I don't know why this looks like I have some sort of corrective smooth whatever, something that is taking off the yeah, here I'm doing this is a bit blind, so this is a bit dangerous, but small adjustments, no, they can't destroy completely. I hope so. Yeah, they can make it a lot worse or a lot better depending on how we work with this. Looks like, oh, this is not the same. All right, so apparently here, oh yes, this, let's bring this here more here. So I'm trying to make something more symmetry, right? So I mean, if this one has got this face loop, this one will get this one. So in this sense. Then here we have this system, right, that of collapsing, but actually it is not working very good, because usually we want to collapse, it will be a trigon to collapse. So this is a bit not accurate. This diamond quad is fine, but then this part I'm trying to collapse some, reduce the geometry here, and this is area, this sort of thing works, but then I think this quad here is wrong, like it can be better probably. So maybe I can, let's see, let's make a little thing here, or I could just dissolve that, right? So now it's not a diamond quad there anymore. Let's see, would be better if I had some animation at this point, right folks? Yeah, so a lot of things here are not really helping. Let's get these 3 bones, this and this. Alright, these bones here. Then let's see, let's make some, yeah, let's make some easy animation here. So it will be like add here, then add here, and then yeah, we can spread this. And then here for stretching also the leg, we can do something like that. Yeah, so we see everything. Okay, alright, let's see now how this thing is doing. Probably on wave paint mode would be more interesting. It would be better if this pose stopped moving, right? Let's do it again. Yeah, so let's do this again. Yes, I can do joint pinning, but it's not, yeah, I'm not caring too much about this. I just want this, it's simple. Alright, so for some reason I think this keyframe here is not helping. Oh, I'm not even recording, that's why. Probably that's why. Okay, and also let's get this, we can reset this pose here. Let's pick all this and move here, and then we're gonna just create here the stretching. Yeah, that should be enough. Let's just make sure that this thing has a proper orientation. Here we go. Now we turn this off. Okay. Good, now we can see everything. Okay, so yes, it really looks that I'm losing some shapes here. This is actually very difficult to do here because I don't have a regular angle here to look everything like. So yeah, it's my choice of having this thing placed in this tilted way. So this lack of regularity is bad, but the idea of this rest position for the mesh is that not only it's good for leg bendings in relation to T-pose, regular standing straight legs, rest position, but also it's good because of the rotations that I've calculated for the legs require if we're using preserve volume option for the armature modifier, so dual quaternion skinning algorithm. And so with this, it allows that we make wilder rotations without warping at 180 degrees rotations, because this is a critical artifact, we can call it an artifact, a critical problem with dual quaternion skinning. It doesn't support higher when it reaches 180 degrees rotations for the deformed bones. It will warp the mesh all around. So it's horrible, right? It's even worse than some. Well, no, it's not totally even worse, but actually, because the problem is that the artifacts, they are certainly very bad, but in certain cases it's better to deal with the artifacts which you can solve through corrective methods than a warping artifact, which is like I don't know, I think it's unsolvable. So sometimes it will just ruin the rig whatever we do. So we cannot rely on dual quaternion skinning unless we are sure, or most likely assured, that our rotations, like I did here, won't reach this threshold. And so this is what I've calculated, and this is why apparently this rest position for the legs is actually good. But the rest pose for my character is this one. It will reset to here because this is another setup. So I've made the leg warps here as soon as you go in pose mode and reset the pose, because this is the okay, there are some tricky things here. You see the master bone is here, and this the foot bone and whatever, they are reaching to this immediately, so they are warping on a reset. And here I've keyframed, so this is why it's not, I need to reset, but this is the reset. So the rest, I have a T-pose, but it's just a rest pose. The T-pose for my character is not the rest position. The rest position is here. And so for the arms here, this is similar. This is the it could be improved, yes, for the arm, I know, but this position for the mesh of the arms will also allow a wild variation of rotations for the arms before it warps, and also it's actually good for deforms on the shoulders, because we have a lot of issues when we need to pose the shoulders. Actually, for this character design, I don't even have corrective shape keys here. For I barely don't have nothing, and it works very good. But it will need a few corrective methods. Okay, so let's go back here. I want to examine what we can do about this. Okay, so I suspect, okay, this is old. Don't know why I'm using this even. There's a driver here. Yeah, this is not. Okay, maybe I won't even need that, so let's delete these drivers first. Yeah, I don't need this. I think I've solved the problem with corrective shape keys already. So one last thing to care about. This is for the mouth and the eyes. Pelvis, another corrective smooth for the pelvis. Okay, another thing that is not using. All right, so simplifying. So no, there doesn't seem to be anything for the affecting the shin. So it's just something that maybe I need to assess from here. I'm not getting the shapes that I want. So maybe it's something about the subdivision modifier. Yeah, it could be the subdivision. Let's see. Alright, so maybe I wasn't expecting to deal with that, but maybe I need to make some. Okay, let's get this some sort of 0.4. Not sure this will be a good idea, but edge crease I just did. This will help creating that profile that I want, but not sure if this is a good idea. Never tried. So I want it to be on the front, exactly in the center. So the center here was that. Let's exaggerate these shapes here. And same here, I'm trying to maintain things regular, right? So with some possible, and here you see there's some strange alignments, an alignment here. This is time consuming, but if I could get this right from here, that would be probably very beneficial. So this model has been through lots of crazy experiments and attempts, so this is why this is at this point might be a bit disorganized, right? It's good to have this solved. Like, I'm starting to get this idea, right, folks? Yes, rigging, especially experimental rigging, when we are testing stuff, testing methods. Yeah, there's a lot of back and forth, so it's very hard sometimes to achieve. Oh, this is the final result for the mesh topology. Oh, this is the final result for the mesh geometry. Yeah, so then there's perfectionism, me, and lots of other folks around. So, but now I'm trying to get past this limitation, right? This and start trying to get, trying to make up my mind about these issues, right? So I already sort of make up my mind about the mesh topology. Okay, this mesh topology is maybe here I'm open to small adjustments, but not too much. Basically, I have already what I wanted original, so it's this and this. I know other solution that, oh, there's something I don't have here that could be beneficial. So it will be, yeah, they often do it. Besides, this is a solution too. Yeah, you see what this does? This is not doing very good for the... Yeah, so you have this spike there on this. This could be just wave painting. So yeah, let's go for wave painting. I was changing here, but something I forgot was just to make... Yeah, so trying to get this more regular. It would be good if I had other view angles here to avoid certain mistakes. So let's try to do this more in a more accurate way. Let's split here and use something like that. Maybe this will help. Alright, so here we, yeah, keep it as a side view from an inner. Let's get here. I can probably smooth this out. And why not try to smooth this, maybe this helps. Then I want to, yeah, draw this profile here. So this is questionable, right? But maybe this is gonna be positive. So let's get a 0.4, just like I did for the back. And now we can try to... I know there, if I had better geometry here to play with the shapes of the muscle, of the bones, of the tendons, then this would be probably much better, right? Since it's not the case, we'll have to rely on this very basic condition here, and hope we can get something interesting. Alright, the shapes are much better. Indeed, that was a good strategy. Okay, we don't have too many deforms there, so this is unfortunately for the too many like anatomical deforms there. This is not very good. But overall the overall shape is a little better. I see that from a frontal view I could have more muscles there, so yeah, probably can try to make some expansion here on that mesh here. They are not symmetrical usually. So this is where I think there will be some space for some creativity. Usually there's some sort of tilting, so something like that. When the muscles from the insides are slightly upper than those in the outside, could be very slight, and this we can solve with just a single face loop organization there. And here I think that part could have this could be go a little more inside here. This doesn't seem to be small enough, but we must be careful. Sometimes it feels like the foot is too small in relation to the rest of the body. I have these feelings, so probably I need to, yeah, maybe yeah, the thigh also seems too, especially on here. Oh, because here I don't have corrective method yet, so that's, but yeah, the foot indeed seems to don't have a proper so let's try to fix this. I've already did that. So just scale it up a little. This is dangerous because there are boots, but we're gonna redo that. Not redo the boots, I mean. We're gonna make some. Yeah, the problem is that I had made. I think I maybe don't need this one. Why this happens? Looks like there's some. Don't understand what's going on there, but. Okay, this is very hard for me to understand what's going on, but okay, so we scaled the foot slightly, but it doesn't seem to scaled up, but maybe some slight improvement. Okay, this will be for later anyways. Now I have to address these deforms here. Yes, this could be just wave painting also, so let's address wave painting actually. And I remember that I have, yeah, I need to make some selection here for the knees. It's actually just like that. No, this and this. Alright, let's save here. Let's get here. So, first, let's see what happens if we... Yeah, this is probably not good, so maybe we need to smooth out. No, probably it will be the question to have more waves to this area from the thigh. Yeah, so on the top of the knee there. More waves. Here is not probably not relevant. We can subtract here. And here we could maintain some blended waves, even though the helper bone should have some influence here. So here we see that this doesn't really solve much. Yeah, this doesn't sound very good, so let's smooth this part below. Yeah, let's smooth this. Because it is how it were, something like that. Okay, let's change now. Let's see for the shin. Alright, so the shin bone is not helping a lot. Okay, first let's blur below. I think this will be relevant. We're having some trouble with here. Might be okay to get some blended waves there. It's not should help, but then here we see that this is certainly not being good. Yeah, so what if we just take this off. Let's subtract. Okay, so this is happening nonetheless, so it could be the bendy bones bendy bone spline indeed that is causing this spike. So what I'm gonna do, yeah, there's no much wave painting for that. For a long time I don't touch it, so this is the sheen. Alright, so let's give a mix here to see. Okay, this seems to improve slightly, but it's not really very helpful. Not enough, but let's use this. Now let's see the bendy bone spline. Let's see what kind of... Alright, so this is more complicated than I thought. Let's turn it off, the deform. Okay, so it seems like the bendy bone is making this much worse. Maybe I have changed some stuff about it. Let's see. Let's try to reset here. Okay, so why it resets in this way? Okay, first it's not a deformed bone at this point. No, it is. Alright. Okay, let's turn it on as a deformed bone, and maybe the targets are wrong. Let's see. Now these things are correct. Yes, we see that maybe their positioning are not helping, so let's try to change this and normal. Maybe this stretch and squash is too much for... Well, but we're not seeing the deforms yet. Oh, I see. It pushes. So yes, we can have this mesh we can have some automation here. This is a thing that I haven't done yet. So here, maybe they are getting too far away. Yeah, too far is not good, at least not for the wave painting that I have here. Let's try to solve this thing here first. So okay, maybe this yeah, it doesn't look correct, so so it insists to not go there for some reason, but these bones have no bone constraints, so this is something... Oh, I see. Maybe it's because of the stretching of these ones. There we go. Okay, so I must reset based on or I can just reuse this value here. So symmetrize to the other side. Okay, let's get again the wave painting here. Maybe I need to smooth this out, right? Why I'm not able to wave paint here? Something is wrong here. It seems to be locked. No, it's not locked. So what's happening that I cannot? Looks like a bug. Not using any Alright, so this is very, very odd. Wave painting from keyframes, maybe? This is... Okay, this looks like a total bug. Let's reopen Blender here, folks. I see something about my Blender is... it's not even closed yet. Some crazy bug here. Let's... Alright, we are back. Now I hope this behavior, well, the behavior is retained. No, it's... Looks like there's some lag, or I can't paint. Yeah, it clicks, but it doesn't. It's like the mesh is unpaintable. It's not something about my tablet, graphic palette. Could be something about the brush itself. Maybe I've... maybe something about... Well, at least I have a backup, but... Okay, so it's something about the keyframing, apparently. I didn't know I couldn't wave paint on keyframed animation. Doesn't make sense to me. Oh, I think I see what was going wrong. I was trying to wave paint the wrong leg. That's it. I was confused with my own model. Sorry folks. There we go. So it's not a Blender bug, just I was trying to wave paint the wrong mirror thing. The mirrored side, right? Or inversely. So here we can have these stronger waves because this is all blended waves anyways. Although it's good that we have some variation here, right? So not doing as boldly as I'm doing here without... Let's use at least some blurring here and hope this will be helpful. Here we also blur here. And here, yeah, let's blur more. So I'll get these blended waves quite stronger here. This should be good for this system. This should. Doesn't necessarily will be. Alright, so this part seems to be nice. Then we are still suffering with the excessive when it stretches. So when it stretches, it might be... Alright, it's clear that the bendy bone is causing this. It relates to the distance. We don't have automation for this. And yeah, it's dangerous sometimes, so it's not like... What if I reset this? It will be weird like that. And it doesn't solve anything. So actually this thing used to not cause this too much. I mean, I had a setup where this contraption was actually being helpful, but currently it seems to be doing worse than... Yeah, it's really not seem to be very useful. If I turn this off, though we have still... We avoid that crazy artifact, but then we have other problems to deal with. We see that we lose some... Yeah, so actually, let's try to keep it simple. Maybe it will be much better if I get rid of this thing at some point and just try to fix it with... Look, it's very cool right now. Just here it's like too pointy, but otherwise... We see that the system is not working. I've turned it off, right? It's not a... This is a contraption that is... Unfortunately, or fortunately, we might not end up not needing it. So this is why perhaps I need some sort of mesh geometry here. We doesn't have this particular... Yes, we could... Oh, it's because of the crease. No, I think not. Well, actually it could be caused by this crease. Let's see. No, it improves the spikiness, but it's not the sole responsible. Of course it's the 90 degrees rotation or even more, because the rest position, the leg okay, this explains why, folks. You see here, this is not a 90 degrees. This is even more. This is like a 120 degrees rotation, and this means that as I have good deforms here, I could even improve that, but as we get the other extreme, so I'm favoritizing this bending, but I'm having artifacts. This will actually generate more artifacts at the other position instead of when the... So this is why I'm having this spike, is because of my rest position is something like here, not like here 90 degrees, or not like here straight legs. If we get straight legs for rest position, then this is very hard to solve, and now I'm having this very hard to solve. However, because this is not the joint itself, well, it is the joint, but it's the outer part, a simple corrective method here could it's just a pointy part. This is very much simpler to solve, so maybe I think I can... Okay, first of all, I'm gonna get rid of this system because I see an opportunity to simplify my rig. Although it was very cool to try that, I see that because of the new system that I have, maybe this is not really required, right, folks? So it's a lot of extra stuff, like you have bones, then you have to symmetrize, then you have more wave painting, then you have, like, you see what I mean, right? So why to have all these complications? And it's a ton of other works, right? So we're in a new process here of simplification, folks. And yeah, but now I have a problem is that I just remember this bone here has got some targets as bendy bones, and now I think I've lost them. Let's see. No, I still have targets here. Okay. Alright, so... Okay, I still have targets, but here I think I've lost one target for... but this is not like the end of the world. Actually, I think this is doing nothing anyways, but... Yeah, so... As we can see here, we're getting good deforms now, and I still think I can improve here. So what we see there is, let's see if wave painting can solve that. No, oh, maybe, yeah. Reduce let's try to reduce here. Not that much, this was a mistake, but yeah, maybe. Then here maybe we add some more. No, Why this is not working? I'm adding stuff. There's something weird here. Mix. Yeah, this is it. Maybe blur here is better. Of course, the type should matters a lot here. Let's see what we can do about this. So technically, anatomically speaking, if I'm not incorrect, the shin bone is the one that gets in here up, like it's the big one that gets into the thigh, and then the thigh bone attaches it, like encompasses it. But in this case, for rigging, maybe this is not the best approach, or maybe it doesn't really matter. But for rigging, I think it's more intuitive to get the thigh bone, because the parent bone with the overriding there of waves, like in the knee, right? Like the knee is part of the thigh and not so much part of the shin. But this is like, yeah, see, we have some wrong tilting there of the mesh. This we can try to improve with, maybe it's just the geometry that's a bit tilted. There's FI key, maybe they are also responsible, but I think it's the mesh geometry that is tilted in the binding rest position. So this is something that I wasn't. It is also harder to get this correct in this pose that I have here. It's more irregular, right, folks? So this is a good idea. Why try to have regular mesh in general? But there are many pros and cons, and here I'm trying to get, yeah, so I have a harder time making regular mesh, but at least I'm getting better deforms for, yeah, harder time with regularity, but easier time with overall artifacts and deforms. Regarding the skinning algorithm that I'm using, the skinning algorithms that I'm using. Actually, for this part now, I've got rid of the spline skinning, the simple joint, so I just have a dual quaternion skinning. But then, as I've already explained before, dual quaternion skinning has preserve volume option here. This will, if we have too much 180 degrees rotations on the deformed bones, it will cause serious warping of the mesh. But thanks to this rest position for the mesh, this mesh is not, for the legs, is never gonna, well, I'm not saying never, but in 3D animation I've tested this. It's very unlikely I'll need these legs to be posed in 80 degrees rotations from this on whichever angle. So this was studied and so this would be ideal for, I was looking for an ideal rest position for the leg. It's more about the thigh limb, not the shin limb, but because the shin is just following the thigh, so it's the thigh in relation to the hips that has the wild rotations. The shin just have rotations around the more like next axis rotation. Of course it could have some tilting on z-axis, right, on y-axis, but rolling, but it's not really, it's no nearly as crazy as the thigh bone and the thigh mesh, so the thigh limb. This is why, so same for the arm here, the upper arm is what matters. And this was also very calculated, so I can get crazy rotations with dual quaternion skinning, preserve volume, without having suffering the consequence of the warping artifact. Otherwise, if I wasn't able to get rid of, not rid, but have this workaround, the best solution would be just to turn it off, right? Not using dual quaternion skinning. Maybe for a contortionist character or some sort of cartoony character, more cartoony than that, or that has wilder rotations possibilities, then yeah, then dual quaternion skinning is probably a bad idea. Alright folks, so here, let's continue here. Let's see if did I solve that pointing? Yeah, not totally. I was considering using a, could use corrective shape keys here, but could use an extra. I'm still considering, maybe I can, you see, wave painting for just these bones don't seem to be enough to correct the artifact. It doesn't look like, and if we solve it, even if we solve it here, it would still be dangerous in the other part, but so far it's, yeah, so we have to fix here and also here. If we change here the ratios of the wave paint, we will gonna affect the ratios here. Of course there is a way to avoid this. If we have some sort of more like wave paint mix, we can create some sort of dynamic wave paint, which is actually crazy, but a crazy idea. This will be a case to use. The problem is that we'll stack a lot of those wave paint mix for left and right side above the armature, and yeah, and it's not so simple to find applicable uses for it. So here would be one, but instead it's not totally necessary, because by just having a, okay, let's create a simple deform bone system here, armature deform, right, solution. So let's try to align this with this. Alright, let's make this bone small. It will be like a corrective bone for the knee, so it will be just parented here. Keep offset, so it will be a deform bone. Yes, simple as this. And so what we do here, we can already symmetrize this, by the ways, and so it is following. So what we get here is that maybe this bone just has some sort of, actually maybe it's better if it is parent to the shin, because the shin rotates So if it's parented to the shin, it sort of have already some sort of, let's align it with the shin anyways. Its orientation doesn't really matter. So currently it's doing nothing. Let's make sure it's aligned. Yes, it's parented to the shin, so okay, it will do this. And what I can do is that we could solve this just a copy rotation. This will remind something about the only on the y-axis, and it will be like local space, local owner orientation. And so what it does, maybe we do inverse, and the influence we could give like 1.5. so what it's gonna do is that it will, let's see, okay, maybe this is not the point, let's not invert. Okay, so it rotates less than I've used the I hope I didn't. No, I didn't do anything wrong, so let's see. So copy rotation, but it will copy less, so it's not gonna rotate as much as the thigh. And as it will hold, okay, so this is the start position, so as it maybe we need to get it all, okay. What if invert? Then it goes to the other side, okay. Okay, the problem is that we don't really see this bendy bone here. We probably need to understand better, I need to change here. No, not stick, let's keep octahedral. Okay, so this bone now is actually it was not even symmetrized, so def knee left, it's a corrective bone, whatever. So local space maybe, so why it's not, I'm curious why it's not responding to the rotations accordingly. Okay, symmetrize. Let's make sure it's parented. Yes, it is parented. So why already here it's not following? Oh, it's the wrong target. Huh. Alright, so but still not copying location properly. Maybe it's not reset. Oh, I did all wrong. Okay, let's hide this. Okay, let's symmetrize again. Oh, I see, it's the parent. The parent must be the same. So the shin bone is parented to the def thigh. Okay, so let's parent this to the def thigh. Now, yes, now you get the exact same inputs. As the thigh, but so it won't rotate totally. Yeah. Then what we do is that we need to, so this strategy here is very important. It also is relevant to copy transforms. When you have a head bone, a deformed head bone, and a control head bone, and we have a master head bone or a neck bone, whatever mechanism thing that, well, something that follows the F key from the spine or whatever. The head bone, the def bone, I mean the deformation and the control bones of the head, they must be parented to the same bone, just as I did here. Otherwise the bone constraints themselves won't guarantee easily, at least. Yeah, they will make very difficult stuff. So it's better just to get both bones parented to the same bone, and then we can copy transforms this to this, for example, because the parenting of one of the bones alone would create additional inputs that sometimes only perhaps copy transforms on world space for target will solve it, but then we might lose some flexibility of doing other tricks. So in this case I want to do some extra tricks. Alright, let me change here, folks. And yes, alright, so now it's the x-axis that I want to change. But the problem here is that I'm taking alright, so if this bone which rotates, okay, we're gonna give some extra thing here. We're gonna duplicate this, and this rotation X we're gonna create add, and we are going to just copy here, and we're gonna add an inverse. So what it does is that it will add negative x-axis rotation. So it will rotate less, and this means on that direction at least, because the shin cannot rotate, well, is not supposed to rotate too much in the other direction. So this won't be very problematic in this case. So we just have this less rotation, then we gotta get this, and then we can probably get this bone to wave paint here that part of the shin, and then we are gonna see some results perhaps. So the more waves I take from the ratio, the more the stronger this helper bone system will be able to affect this knee area. But it's not guaranteed that just rotations will make it better. I might have to create ideally some sort of displacement. We can play with all that, so this is usually annoying to do, right? But it usually works if we spend enough time involved into this, or just wave painting better. Very careful wave painting can probably, and with the good bone constraint input, then we can probably get some natural development here without much complications, right? Because we could do a lot of things, right, to get this thing right. It might be many inputs that we make are maybe just unnecessary, right? It's just a very small problem, and now also I'm making it, even by making this rotation system, perhaps I'm making it even more complicated than it should, because ideally I would use a transformation bone constraint that would work like a driver that would just displace this bone, like probably somewhere here, I don't know. Well, currently it's not possible to rotate it, so you cannot test, so this is a bit annoying. Let's make some change to this, therefore. Let's also ignore these waves here. We don't want waves here. And let's see. Yeah, bone constraints not on wave pane mode. We need to be on pose mode to be able to. So you see, we can test here what kind of negative rotation would be adequate, but we see that this is not actually enough. So here we could get a before original, and that means that we are free to pose, and so we can see how complicated it is, right? But it's perfectly solved. I don't want to, yeah, so if I hide this, we just have a helper bone that got extra waves there. So without it, of course, it's like it is pushing. Yeah, so I need the first copy rotation. The question is that maybe I could just solve it by here, right? But this is less precise, because here I have copying all the axes at a certain value, and the only problem that I'm having actually is not so much here, is behind. So let's see here, if we add more, there's no negative influence, so it's really be like this. And so here, I don't know, let's keep this, and then can that part be solved with wave painting? Between these three bones, this is what I want to investigate. Maybe if no, this doesn't seem to bring any solid advantage here. This smoothing seems to be interesting. Let's try to add. Yeah, so actually this technique that I'm using here, actually there exists some system that I've seen, very old. It's called fan bones, and that use something similar. I've already know about this practice before I knew about these fan bone systems. It's for joints that they actually take these waves, indeed, these waves from the joints, and they redistribute these waves on different fan bones there. That wouldn't be exactly like this one, but it's about rotations, so that's why it's very similar. What's happening is that the fan bones, it will look like a fan, that's why fan bones. Bones that are like starring away, like in a star shape, like a fan shape, right? Surrounding the limb, the joint, so they go outward like a star, and it's used for the complex joints especially, but it can also be used here. So by having shared waves and taking off these ratios from the original deformed bones, which are the ones producing the artifacts on higher rotations, by redistributing these waves and rotating less than their bones, they sort of neutralize or tend to neutralize the worst of the artifacts. But I'm not sure how effective this is for artistic organic rigging. I mean, it should work, the method should be reliable, but I'm not sure if they are, how good they are. I need to test everything about, I mean, I need to make further investigation on the whole method. It's very little information in this. I saw in Blender for a forum, Blender Artists Forum, there's a forum, a thread about this. Someone recovered some data from apparently a course 2006, but there's no tutorial about that. 2006 they were doing fan bones. Now I think I can reproduce this method, although the information I've got there's a document, don't seem to be, yeah, it was not in Blender, so it's already a bit more complicated, but the idea was clear enough. It's just that certain details I'm not sure like, but then it can be inferred, but without experimenting it isn't clear. It's about these rotations anyways, folks, so I want to neutralize the rotation of the mesh by doing inverse motions, and then there's these proportions, right? How much, for example, this needs to neutralize, like I did something like using copy rotation here, bone constraint. I did like it's 30% less rotating than this, but it could than the original. So if the original is rotating like 90 degrees, this will be rotating like 30 degrees less, so 60 degrees, and this is what it looks like, right? It's like 30% less rotations, and because it holds waves, it would reduce from this deformed bone is not neutralizing the artifact. It will just make that the artifact generated in this particular critical joint region would be less influential. So it's taking off waves from the artifacts and sort of countering the artifact with another deformed bone that will mimic the rotation, but not so much, because if it mimicked totally, would have the same artifact. So apparently here, I see, maybe we need slightly more. Yeah, slightly more, it means this is inverse, right, folks? I need to follow 40% instead of, actually no, I'm incorrect. Now it is rotating less, so it's rotating like, if before it was rotating at 70% of the amount, now it's rotating 60% of the total. Is the inverse of this. And so this kind of gets good. Yes, well, folks, to be fair, this is good, right? This is not this is acceptable, right? Personally, I'm not satisfied, but considering what we had in the beginning, this is magical, right? This is very good. So and considering that we're not having artifacts from the other part, the other bendings, or not have reliable deforms there, so this seems to be good enough, right? Okay, so let's go for the something in next now. So I'm gonna make this into a just give it some sort of color here. Let's give it attribute this orange color, so it's a secondary deform bone. So alright, so this is for the knees, folks. A lot of work, but I think this is actually relatively simple solution. The rest position, of course, this is more advanced rigging solution, because it would need that we adapt the advanced foot rig for this warping system here, and this can be a bit complicated. I need to make a tutorial about this thing, right? So anyways, but basically the idea is that get the mechanism bones for the advanced foot rig there and mimic the orientations, need some calculation of the using normal and I don't know, 3D curves or whatever. We need just to maintain the same structure here, like trigonometry, and tilt this structure to the foot here. So if we know, the most important thing actually is just to know how much, so for example, is to know how much the foot bone is rotated in relation to the ankle joint. Of course, here's a bendy bone we don't see, but I know that it is rotated. This is a, imagine this was horizontal, so this is straight. How much is this angle? So this will be, I know this is 50 degrees. So if I rotate this on a normal, transform orientations normal, and negative, rotate x negative 50, no, rotate x 50, this will get horizontal. It was 50 or 45, I don't remember anymore, but it's simpler to see here because here I have more bones here, they are just not showing. But then if we know that calculation, we just can mimic, reproduce the same thing in a tilted way from here in relation to there. And here there are no real, the mechanisms are there. Here the only mechanism that exists here, they are, okay, there's this helper bone here, which doesn't matter, we still have it, but we are gonna hide it. What matters here is just the, I see some strange deform there on the foot. I don't know what's that. Probably some wrong symmetrization. So what I know here, oh, I see, it's, yeah, it's wrong symmetrization. So don't remember how this happened, don't know how that happened, but yeah. Now it seems to be fixed. Alright, so just a bad symmetrization. Then let's see, the mechanisms for legs are here. So if we go on pose mode, what we get here is, yeah, so what we have here, yeah, this is helper bone, this is helper bone, this is the foot bone deformed, this is the toes bone, this is the helper, and this is actually the foot bone. So this bone is parented, offset to a mechanism foot warp. So this is it will follow this bone, and this bone will actually, it is parented to Okay, this is disparented to the disparented. It has is maybe it's not necessary, but let's see. It's mechanism toes roll. Mechanism toes roll. Okay, it's just mimicking this parenting here. So because this is the equivalent of the warp bone there. So this is not an Ike target. The Ike target is also not this one, usually it's that one, right? But for this particular rig, because I have an additional feature, this is the Ike, no, this is, hold on, let's see. That's the Ike target. Master leg, okay, this is the Ike target. So the master leg, okay, so this is not conventional, but this is another, so ignore this. You can have, yes, that bone as the Ike target, but and then this will be the warp bone that will have a copy transforms to a map bone, I call that will be here. So this is the warp bone. So you see this structure here with angulars and distance. Their bone length is all the same. So this length is exactly the same length as the foot bone, as this mechanism warp bone. And all they're doing is just they are warping all this foot, the mesh to exactly that position. But what makes more different here, and this is tricky, this is something that require a special tutorial, is for having this advanced foot advanced foot rig that doesn't require how do you say, I key, F key, F key switch, because I can have F key posing simultaneously as I key posing without needing to switch, and I don't lose this feature here of the, it's not like perfect, but it does I think nearly everything. So even F key the leg, someone asked, then of course this is very crucial. So if I have, for example, this I can with this I can have this thing. So F key, right? And then I can still hold I key simultaneously, and I can stretch, but then there's some distance here that I can respect or not. And there's in case I want to get back, I have this map tool here. It's another map bone, but it just serves to do this trick. And this doesn't. So the way this is working, yeah, this is very complicated, but to achieve it, but yeah, needed to do a lot of research, but it's working, and there's no critical failures with you see, with dependency loops. I was doing it originally with a multi-I key bone constraints, but eventually I found out that it was possible to do all this with just one I key bone constraint, and then yes, so it works smooth, seamlessly. Yeah, so sorry folks, my language is bad here, my speech is confused. There's a few time I think by not streaming one whole day I got a bit inhabituated strangely enough, but strangely as it sounds. But okay folks, so this is for the knees. We got it. And I would like to fix the hand mesh, because the mesh topology is good for me, for what I was doing. Oh, actually, let me try again this, the thing that I had here. Actually, let's do differently this time. What if I give this a, just curious, okay, it's not like sharpening terribly, so well, maybe this is bad. Yeah, no, this is still problematic, but so doesn't matter. I consider this achieved. It'll be like we simplified the rig, right? Anyway, so this is very good. So we need to go to the hand. I just don't think I'm gonna doing this session, though we spend too much time on the knee already. So that hand is something I was, for a long time, I messed it up. I need to remake a rest position that I consider here would be, of course, I need to make this regular for the fingers, right? We don't want this crazy rest position. I just want more regular rest position, but yes, I want to align the fingers. You see how bad this mesh is currently, but the mesh topology is good. Maybe just for the fingernails I have to make some rechecks, but in principle the hand is very good for low poly in my opinion, and I need to align it, but I leave this rotation here because of the deforms, because these fingers are, this will be good for the fist, clenched fist pose, and for the highly stretched, exaggeratedly stretched outwards, like here and here. So we want so this is why I'm getting some sort of intermediate pose here. Otherwise what will happen, it will lose a lot of volume, and I thought it would, I've made some experimenting with clenched fist rest position then, or other pose. It was very rest position, a very bad idea to start with a clenched fist. It's very, and that's why my mesh got really bad after I reverted that condition. But I've learned things in the way, right? And so I found out that this might be the best thing. So some sort of slightly bent inwards fingers, and just I need to align them and fix this mesh, right? And once this is completed, this the bones are then already doing their job with auto I key option. And so this is my last take here, but maybe I don't need to stream that, it will be just too boring. So after I do this, I think my next attempt will be to get to the, we already have, yeah, maybe cloth rigging. Yeah, so there's the skirt, we need bendy bones, wiggle bones for the skirt. This is a challenge yet for me, and let's see what the list we have here. So we got okay, we fixed the crotch here, so we need the hands, crotch is done, and also knee is sort of done. Yeah, corrective shape keys for pelvis. Okay, this is on the way. Fixed dependency cycles, no dependency cycles, that is good. So let's get this list. Okay, so this was not the case. Here we can make some splitting here. And here alright, so folks, I know this is not interesting what I'm doing here, it's just, but it's not a waste of time, it's just, it's interesting because maybe it's good for organization, good ideas. I'm using Google Drive here, Google X Sheet. So here we got, okay, so this was achieved today, and then test arm rotation. Okay, this is a quick thing to do, we'll do along with the hand mesh. Body UV tech, yeah, then all the clothes, yeah, a lot of things about the clothes. Hair UV texture, basically, yeah, cloth rigging, UV texture for body, clothes and hair. And need some cloth modeling too, clothes readjustments for details, and but we'll give lots of details for the UV texture. So using the grease pencil character designs to remodel some clothes here. I want to get them good for inspirational, right? So I need some designing skills here. And yes, this is very important. Universal sonic mouth rig adaptation. I need to complete this. So this is probably the, after the hair. The hair was the most complicated thing that took me forever to find courage to take this challenge. Finally, this is completed. And so now this is like the, just a matter of time, right? Texture, so challenging the modeling will be cool. And all this we got is just, this is the most experimental thing that I need to achieve now, from now on. All the rest is just a matter of time. So that's it, folks. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Take care and happy blending. We will be back maybe, yeah, I guess tomorrow for more of this stuff, and we are going to, I think if we continue in this rhythm bit every day, then maybe I'll be able to achieve this project, this model, character rigged model, in like less than 2 weeks from now. So that will be a great thing. That's it, folks. See ya soon. Bye.